past, present, and future. So beyond space, creation and destruction happen simultaneously. So in the dimension of time start the past, present, and a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts, and he has Kanchi Kailasa Sagadnipeetam, the incumbent emperor of the Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajyam, the present 293rd Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonatha Shamala Pita Sagadnipeetam, the present Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani, and he is elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by a congregation of over 1,000 Hindu leaders, 1,000 titles, and he has released over 20 million copies of books and articles which are sold, read, and downloaded. And he has delivered over 10,000 hours of discourses. And he is honored as the leader of Hinduism, the most awarded, internationally recognized Hindu leader, the reviver of 108 ancient Hindu sampradayas, including 150 countries. He is the establisher of 1,000 plus Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems, the founder and reviver of over that. We will now be moving on to the witnessing the demonstration of extraordinary powers of the third eye by the Balasans and Nithyananda yogis.
Yes. So let us witness the as they see with their two eyes, and you will also be witnessing the extraordinary power of body scanning, which is the power where one awakens the ability to scan illnesses, diseases, medically diagnosed scriptures of Hinduism. Paramashiva reveals in elaborate detail that every person is hardwired to be able to manifest the 463 plus extraordinary Shaktis. Shaktis mention that you are the divine and manifest from a deep space of oneness with Paramashiva, from the space of enlightenment as a side effect of feeling connection with the divine and high integrity with the Guru. Shaktis are the avatar and they lead you towards enlightenment, whereas Siddhis express from tapas or penance and they are on the path of enlightenment. So, who is the source of all these Shaktis? How do we manifest as a fundamental base above Vyakta, the unmanifest, and Vyakta, the manifest existence? He performs the Panchakritya or the 5 cosmic acts of Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Prabhava, and Anugraha. Creation, maintenance, Shivam. Just to revive all these extraordinary Shaktis, Paramashiva has landed as a 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva and is reviving all these lost sciences. And Swamiji was recognized as an avatar at a very young age by the enlightened gurus, by the Swamiji, to revive these sciences and to initiate billions of people to manifest these extraordinary sciences from the disciplines of Vedanta, Tantra, Sri Vidya, Yoga, yogic powers, truth, Jnana, mapped into your consciousness, Prajna, manifest as a power and possibility of every being, Prajnana. So let us now watch a small video which explains.
Diksha is the direct transfer of spiritual energy by an Prasangyastu Bhuktayaha. The main benefit of all initiations is moksha, enlightenment. As a side effect, health, veto bhavet. The one who is not initiated does not attain liberation nor a better future. So by all efforts, one should get initiated by Guru. What is the science of initiation? Inner potential energy. As the Kundalini flows from the thalamus to the cortex, it sets up a powerful energy loop within the brain, which awakens the late, transform our lives, bliss and fulfillment. Initiation creates high awareness, visualization, creativity. It also slows the aging programs conducted at the ashram. Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Yes. So let us see unchangeable truths revealed in the source scriptures by Paramashiva. Next is the Apta Pramana, the experiences and results of Aptas or the authorities of Hinduism who time tested and verified is the Pratyaksha Pramana or the empirical evidence from observation and scientific experimentation. So where do we get all these Shastra Pramanas from? Where do we get all these source scriptures from? Agamas are the scriptures where the applied technology, the applied science is expanded. Vedas and Agamas, Vedagamas, are given the status of Shruti as they are directly revealed by Paramashiva. So the power of third eye is where one awakens the ability to read with a blindfold. So let us see the Shastra Pramana with the power of third eye, which comes Manasodadhyat Lakshaye Lakshamuttamam. The translation goes, by fixing the mind on the inner space within the crown center and sitting stably without any movement. Paramashiva. The next is Apta Pramana, where it goes back to the time of Bhagavan Krishna, when Bhagavan Krishna initiates Arjuna into the power of third eye. In the Hindu Purana, Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna as he sees Bhagavan Krishna through the third eye. Natumam shakyase drashtum anenaiva swachakshushaha divyam dadami technic opulence. Next is the Atma Pramana. The Swamiji. Next is the Sakshi Pramana, the empirical evidence from observation and scientific experimentation. So you can see the study measures compare the metabolic cell activity of the brain and of the rest of the brain is at peace. So this is the observation from scientific experimentation, and now you will be witnessing the live Sakshi Pramana and how this rare sacred science is being made available to humanity, manifesting the power of third eye in front of all of you today, and you will be witnessing how this extraordinary Shakti is being manifested by the Balasons of the Nithyananda Gurukul in front of your eyes. So, along with strap the eye band to Ma Kaladhara's head. So you can see that this eye band has no gaps, no holes from between the sponge and the opaque sheet. So this is the eye band we'll be placing on Ma Kaladhara's eyes. This is actually the same. I'm not going to be making any changes to the eye band. I'll just directly place it on her eyes. So you can see that the eye band is completely covering. Yes. So now Ma Kaladhara is going to be manifesting the power of third eye for all of you. So I request the YouTube comments to be projected, and all of you can go ahead and post any comments you want on the live Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel, and Ma Kaladhara is going to be reading it live. So I request all of you to go ahead and continue posting. So you can see that there's no wires around Ma Kaladhara's head. It's only her and her eye band.
Suhila Survey BHADRAANNI SHCID Tukha BHAAG Bhavet Om.
And Ma Kaladhara was able to read that exactly. And even if she was not able to pronounce the word, she was able to spell it out exact. Post. You can post medical terms, scientific terms, and you can even post in the language of Tamil. So Ma Kaladhara knows how to read Tamil. Anybody who is Tamil can post any comment in Tamil, and Ma Kaladhara will be reading it out. And in these 3 storybooks, there are a total of 31 pages in the first book, 30 pages in the second. Any one of these 3 books. And Ma Kaladhara, you can post in the comments and post which book you want Ma Kaladhara to read. And you can also post a page number, and Ma Kaladhara will be reading it out. So this is book 1, this is book 2, and this is book 3. Any one of the viewers can post which book they want. So I'm showing these 3 books to the
Again, 7 search tool has posted. Picture is too small. Yes, I. My yoga plan is showing the picture closely now.
you want page 30 to be read. Okay, so I'll be giving a random book. So I'll be choosing any random book out of these 3. So Ma Kaladhara, you can is page 30, which Ma Kaladhara has chosen.
Yes, 7 search tool has posted Tales of VALB.
So you can see how this is accurate, page 30. Yes, Ma Kaladhara, you can go ahead and start reading. Or you can actually describe the pictures on page 30.
Yes. So, and there is a pillow behind her, which is light blue, and the tiles are all both of them fighting, and the purple color dressed person is holding a sword, and here they're showing the picture of them fighting. And here
You can see how Ma Kaladhara described that there's a girl wearing a mustard yellow shawl, and that there are two purple a man in a purple dress is fighting with the girl in the yellow shawl, and the girl is running, and she was able to read the whole thing. Yes, and I encourage all of you, and she will be doing everything through her third eye.
PASTLC Ma with an fantastic Ma with an exclamative mark, and she has posted so proud of you with the 2 dots and a closing.
Page 44. And actually in this book which has 90 pages, we have 3 books in one. So this is 3 in 1, so you can choose any book. So even in this
Expressions of me, I am Ma Jalendra Stithananda has posted the one with the red border.
so Ma Kaladhara, you can go ahead and choose which book. 30 pages in it. Yes. So Ma Mahajalendra Stithananda, why don't you go ahead and
M. Mahacharendra Nithyananda has posted "Ho" with an exclamatory mark and "wonderful." She has posted "all right," page number 22. So now I'll be opening the page number 22.
Kaladra, why don't you go ahead and read page number 22? You can describe the pictures on page 22.
Pink with light pink mixed, dark and light pink, and person next to him is wearing a light green turban with a light green shawl and wearing a dark green top. And in the next picture, they're showing both of them sitting on top of a blinds,
Okay.
and they're showing three pillars. And then in between where they're sitting is light green.
Okay, so Ma Kaladra has described the top part of the picture. So all of and in the second box there is two people sitting on a sofa, a cushion kind of thing with four bolsters next to them, and there are three pillars, and you can see how Ma Kaladra was even able to see the amount, how many cushions are there, how many pillows are there, and you can see how the I-band is completely intact. There's no change to the I-band. Everything is the same, and you can see how Ma Kaladra is still adjusting to the light. So her eyes were closed inside the whole time, and she was able to signing with you after a short break. Till then, I request all of you to call your family members and friends and go ahead and start posting your comments. Start posting requests for body scanning in the Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda channel, and then the Balasans and the Nithyananda Yogis will be coming and yes. So now you will be seeing the pramanas for the power of body scanning. Problem even started in your body in the first place. The third eye doesn't just reveal the problem, it reveals why it started. There are so many cases where the person is not able to relate with the scanning. The person will be like, no, I don't have this problem. But when they follow the solution Paramashiva gives, they actually get healed of the problem. Sukshma Sukshma Tarani Cha Tattvani Yani Nilayam Dhyatvaante Vyajyate Para. One becomes complete from all the thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, Paradevi, Adi Shakti, is revealed and the supreme Agastya. And one day, a man suffering from a severe headache came to Agastya for healing, and Agastya did the body scanning and revealed that there is a small type of terai, a frog, sitting in his head. And he immediately instructs his disciple Tereus to perform the open head surgery. The experience of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Swamiji, this millennium's avatar's personal extender for medical checkups related to that. And at that time, they detected heavy metal quantity in different organs of mind, and it was and Swamiji beautifully shares that he used allopathy as a second opinion to verify his findings. Level 2 program, many disciples and devotees who attended the program have shared how they were able to manifest this extraordinary power. And all of you also can manifest so your 63 powers. But now you will be witnessing the demonstration, the live demonstration of body scanning happening in front of your eyes by the Balasans and the Nithyananda Yogis. So now I request all of you to continue posting, call your family members, call your friends, show them that they by the Balasans of the Nithyananda Gurukul. So along with me, I have Masoni, Maniti Brahma Yogananda, and myself, who will be manifesting this extraordinary power of body. Body scanning about healing her diabetes, please. So, Ma Brahmayaga, you can do the body scanning for Ma Nithyananda Nithyananda's sister. And anybody else, please continue posting your comments. Please post. We'll be chanting the Mahavakya together. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om. Ahmedaya, Paramashiva has revealed two colors. First thing I was able to see is like a navy blue color, but it's revealed. I request you to get back in the chat and confirm whether whether the scanning was correct or not. And you can also share how you felt
before even drinking water. Immediately after she gets up, she has to have 1 tablespoon of neem leaves and turmeric. She has to make a paste with both of them. She has to mix them together and make a
and turmeric paste she has to eat every morning. So just tell your sister to follow this solution and she will be completely healed. Yeah, right now as the COVID is spreading and it is really bad. But you can also ask this question to Devi Parashakti when she comes live, and Devi Parashakti will guide you as per what is correct for you, ma. So you can ask this question to Devi Parashakti. She will be guiding you and telling what is right.
Lots of cleansing in your body. So to cleanse your body, have neem juice and castor oil in the morning with empty stomach.
Yes, that is a very simple solution and a simple scanning, but amazing. How? Okay. Ahmedaya, I request you to get back, and I request all of you to continue posting your comments in the Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. My sister, yes, neem and turmeric first thing in the morning. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for getting. Yes. So, Ma Soni, Ma Brahmayaga, why don't you go ahead and share? How are you able to manifest this power? When was the first time you manifested?
Okay, so I would like to share my experience of how I felt when I manifested body scanning for the first time. So I was doing a demo on for Shiva Diksha. A few participants had come to Adinam, and at that time I was manifesting body scanning, and one volunteer was chosen for me to do a body scanning for them, and I did the body scanning, and like that was the first time I was going for a demo and doing a body scanning live for someone. So I was just like a really precise answer which came. So I was like thinking, should I tell it? Is it really? Does he really have it, or am I just thinking? Because it was like so exact. If he doesn't have it, then it's wrong. If he has it, then it's correct. So I just told I clenched my hands really tight, and I just told that Aya, you have gotten a recent. That was my first. That's my experience of the first time I did body scanning, and from that day onwards, I like whatever solutions come, I'm completely confident in it, and I just.
Or remote vision. So one day we were doing the Kalpataru demo, and one person came and asked me, okay, why don't you go ahead and scan my house? I was like, okay. And I did the I did the house scanning for him, and I revealed that he is on the 3rd floor, and he was like, no, I'm not on the 3rd floor. I'm on the, if you count it, I'm living on the 3rd floor. And then he was like, yeah, I'm living on the 3rd floor. And then I continued the scanning. And then I was like, you have a guitar. It's next to your sofa on the corner of the wall in front of one, it's kind of like a closet kind of thing in front of that. And he was so shocked because that's exactly how it was. That he had a guitar right next to the sofa in the corner of the house, and the black case was a little open, and it is in this position. It is leaning against the wall, and the black case is open. It's just the trust on Swamiji, just with the trust on Swamiji. Whether we get it right or no, at the end it is all Swamiji's grace. Even if we get it right, the credits go to him. Even if, and there is nothing called it not being accurate. Everything which Paramashiva reveals is accurate. Sadashiva Priyananda ready to start the next session where you will be learning about Devi Parashakti herself. So now We thank all of you for joining. Please stay tuned. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda demonstrating the powers of Paramashiva. And just through the initiation, as Ma Nitya Yoga Prananda, who had been just, and we can see every single day how so many people are being benefited. So how so many people are asking their questions, are having their bodies scanned, and are seeing literally the powers of Paramashiva and having the higher possibility, celebrating the happening of the avatar on planet Earth, as he is manifesting as Devi Parashakti herself, the embodiment of the divine feminine consciousness. How do we connect with her? And how do we ensure that we can, in some way or form, receive her blessings? We'll now understand Devi Parashakti or Devi Parashakti, and it describes her beauty and her valor, her divine qualities. In fact, it has all of the 1008. Then we'll be entering into the next segment with the Dhyana Shloka for Devi Parashakti. We'll be understanding Devi Parashakti in a very subtle, very sacred way. And every one of us. Devi Parashakti is the ultimate, pure, divine feminine consciousness. And she is the embodiment of the cosmic as well as the ultimate embodiment of life itself. And we connect to her as our mother. And she has the ability to literally take away all our fears. Priyananda Swami as well, to introduce to each and every one of you who is Devi Parashakti. Let us first begin with the Dhyana Shlokas.
Akashekaram Smitamuki Mapina Vakshoruham Panibhyamali Ratna Jasakam Raktotphalam Bhibrati Saumyam Ratna Gatastha Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Paramam.
In a splendid bus, one hand her twirling the jewel cup, and the other twirling a red lotus.
The next Dhyana.
Body with her eyes full of compassion and holds the news, the gold bow and the flowery arrow in her hands. She is surrounded on all sides by powers such as
and black holes. Go on. Parashakti is the source Shakti, the source energy, the source power from which
Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And she is gracing us, answering all of our prayers, attending and giving our boons, healing us, revealing our path.
Blossomed as Krimkara, filled as Parashodasi, living in 40 triangles, the Kailasa Swamini, who is in Kailasa Sripura Chintamani, Parashodasi, sitting as a part of Paramashiva, Parameshwari, who rules the world, Paramashakti, Manonmani, Meenakshi. As Nithyananda, I took the Nijavana, Samraja Lakshmi, Parameshwari, Parashodasi, Meenakshi, taking the form of Nithyananda. I came here as Nijavatara. With great compassion, I am blessing. Listen, people, to do good to all of you, I took the form of Nithyananda and came down as Nijavatara.
Growing as the 4 Vedas, expanding as 5 Panchabhutas, beyond the 6 chakras, filled as the Gotras of 7 Rishis, expanding. I came to bless every one of you.
So literally, you are seeing Paramashiva, and so that coin is called as a traditional Dakshina. So it can be of any lowest value. It can be even 1 paise or even 1 cent.
Now you can offer that, how much it adds to your sentiment that really Devi Parashakti is there. And ultimately, you'll not take the Devi Darshan for granted. Rituals will break your monotonous, unconscious mentality and lifestyle. And not the banana and the coin. So, and it's all arranged in a plate here, as you can see. The coconut and the red bangles, as well as the red vestram, is also optional. But this beetle leaf, beetle nut, the banana, is a basic necessity for ask questions and interact and start interacting personally with Devi Parashakti, ask her our questions and request her boons, request her energy in our lives, request her guidance, whatever it might be. First, ensure that you are a member of Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel, and this will give you access an array of more than 7,000 YouTube videos and all the darshans, dikshas, satsang sessions, everything that the Supreme Pontiff on the right-hand side. So make sure that you're able to do those steps on YouTube.
Yes. So the next official social media platform through which you can connect with Parashakti.
And many of you are frequent users of Twitter, so you can also ensure that you are following the Twitter handle of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism at Sri Nithyananda on Twitter, and also make sure that you are asking Shakti.
The next social media platform is the Instagram account. So Sri Nithyananda is the official Instagram account, and you can follow that in the Instagram and ask your questions in the comment section.
Yes, you can use through kailasa.org. Now, we have another option that you can also do for even making donations and anything that for some of us most desperately, most yearning the divine presence of Devi Parashakti in our lives. We're yearning for someone to take care, to give us boons, to take care of our lives, and to give us protection, as many of us may take actions and guide our whole life and ensure that we are literally been able to handhold us through these extremely dark and tense times, just as a mother would carry her child, given the pure guidance and for the whole of humanity. And Devi Parashakti has given so much of supreme knowledge, whether it comes to the Sanatana Hindu Dharma segment of today's program, yes. Now, every one of us understands the after effects of the Pralaya, humanity's collective psyche, leading to increase in poverty and even malnutrition, depression, and mental health issues.
Yes. So why and solution of the Pralaya?
Now, all of us know the current status of the world right now. More than 3.8 million deaths, 175 million confirmed cases, and the top worst affected countries being USA.
75 million people.
And we can easily see how the entire country, India, is undergoing so much of turmoil. And here we can see that India is the 6th most depressed country, high, and the suicide is one of the biggest causes of deaths in India in groups 17 to 24, 15 to 24. And that is a very alarming age because it is the youth that is being directly affected.
So how could we have prevented this? So we will now listen to Parashakti's revelation on the 30th.
ஆமா என்று கேட்கின்றாய், நன்றாய் தெரிந்துகொள், சொல்வதைப் புரிந்துகொள். இந்த பெருநரகமான கிருமி போஜனம் புரிந்துகொள், சொல்வதைப் புரிந்துகொள். இந்த பெருநரகமான கிருமி போஜனம் இந்தியாவிற்குள் வரக்கூடாது என்பதன் மாலுமியை ஊர்விட்டு துரத்தினார்கள். என்ன நடக்கிறதென்று பார். முறையா பாத யாத்திரை செய்த பிறகு மட்டுமே நீ அங்கு செல்ல வேண்டும். அதுவரை உன்னை காத்து.
Yes. So what Parashakti has revealed in her own words in English, she says, for this huge Kirimi Bojanam hell not to come to India in 2020 itself, I had planned to do Padayatra. Now listen to Bhagavan.
want to do 1 year Padayatra specially for this purpose in 2020. 2020, other than Padayatra and just spending time with people. Just walking. Of course, 10,000 people will be walking with me. Maybe 200 vehicles, manifesting powers. Walking from village to village. What do you think will happen? The scene of Buddhism spreading will be repeated now. Just want to enjoy India and let India enjoy me. So planning for next year Kumbh Mela 2019, next year 5 Rajagopurams, which will be something like 120 feet. This will be the Balalayam. And after the Mulalayam is built, this Balalayam will serve as a Utsavamurti Center. Worship is allowed in the main temple. Because 12 Abhishekam is going to happen. 12 Kala Abhishekams. So continuously the rituals will be going on. People can have only darshan. Will be done to the Utsavamurti, which will be kept in the Balalayam, the present Balalayam, present structure. So people can spend time here. That will be more like a main darshan. This will be like energy darshan, where you can give letter. Walking. From next year Jayanti, means 2019's Jayanti to 2020's Jayanti. Full year. Jayanti to Jayanti will be. I think that is the only way the revival of Sanatana Hindu Dharma can be done. I need to get into the ground where people can see me, where they are living. This is for me now. 2018 and 2019. So 2020, before that 10,000 people will be ready to walk session. How will you visualize what will happen if 10,000 power manifestors enter into a village and ask people, tell me your problem now, come on, let's sort it out. Carvings are there. Even Srirangam temple, the whole carving is there. Srirangam temple gives a week by week the whole picture of male baby and female baby. Any of you have seen that? Srirangam Rangaraja Mandapam, it very clearly portrays. There will be one Rangaranga Gopuram. In that Ranga, science of temple building story as per Agama and as per practical village level, ground level, all that. In those days, 2000 years before, when this Cambodia and all these civilizations were flourishing, two community from, but the common civilian, these two community only went. So Nagarattar and Saivavalalar agriculture.
Yes. So since the age of 10, the Supreme Pontificate courses, so this 16th to 17th November 2005, which happened in Chennai in Tamil Nadu, where he is conducting a huge satsang on the title Anandam.
19th of November 2005 in Vellore, Tamil Nadu, the Supreme Council of Hinduism initiating thousands of people into the science of enlightenment.
And again in 2005, this is in, and again in 2005, where he has conducted huge satsangs and programs in Salem, Tamil Nadu. This is one of the Nithyananda around him, waiting for his darshan and healing.
And on the 1st of January 2006 in Adi Kailasha Satyajnapita, celebrating the 29th Jayanti celebration.
And also this is the Jayanti celebrations, and this is the Shakti Spurana program picture, the Dhyana Spurana program, which the Supreme Pontiff himself conducted. Devotees are actually participating in the Homa, and the Supreme Pontiff himself is conducting the Saptayagam, the Homa, in Salem in Tamil Nadu. These are the various pictures. 27th, 30th of July in 2006. So now we saw the various contributions to the Supreme Fount of Hinduism, how he has enriched thousands and re-energizing process by driving away the Supreme Fount of Hinduism out of India.
Now let us listen to Devi Parashakti's solution for this pralaya to end, revealed on
இந்தியாவிற்குள் வரக்கூடாது என்பதற்காக 2020 பாரதம் முழுவதும் 12 ஜோதிர்லிங்கமும் பாத யாத்திரை செய்திடவே என் மகன் மூலமாய் திட்டமிட்டிருந்தேன். படுபாவிகள் நிறை மரியாதையொடு நல் மதிப்பொடு என் நிஜாவதாரம் நித்யானந்தன் திருவடி மீண்டும் பாரதத்தில் பட்டோம்.
So Devi revealed that the only solution for this pralaya to end in India is if the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's feet touch the ground in India and the Padayatra that was and the head of Vaidasa. So as we look around, we see what the great rishis had revealed that Kali Yuga would be in, forewarned us what to
ततो गच्छामि देवस्य वाराणसीं महापुरीम् अस्मिन् कलियुगे घोरे लोका पापनुवर्तिनः भविष्यन्ति महापाप वर्णाश्रम विवर्जिताः नान्यत् पश्य.
In fact, men are so sinful that no prescribed penance atones for their great sins. The only place which is free from such sins is the great city of Varanasi, the Mahapuri.
Ravi, in which appeared Sri Rama. In the Dwapara Yuga, the presiding divinity is Vishnu, and in the Kali Yuga, the current age, the presiding divinity, the avatara is Rudra, Lord Maheshwara, Maha Sadashiva.
And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revealed that if he had taken one more year, if he had waited till 1979 to descend onto planet Earth, it would have been too late for humanity. Let us listen to that revelation here.
It is not lost. Just the last minute climax before it was going to be put off have happened. I would have sent only ambassadors because no time. I have to get up and come directly. I have everything needed to bring that science back to life and establish its legitimacy.
To protect humanity from this great pralaya and to bring the new age of Satyuga and to bring the superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Let us listen to Devi.
புறப்பட வேண்டிய காலம் வந்ததனால் வந்திருக்கின்றது இந்த பெரும் பிரளயம். நித்திய யுகம் செய்வோம், நித்திய யுகம் சத்தியயுகமாய் மலரும் இங்கு ஆனந்தமா.
So Devi revelations translated into English reveal that people of the world listen. Kali Yuga has matured and over time.
So for this huge Kirimi Bhojanam not to come to India, 2020 I had planned to do Padayatra throughout India in 12 Jyotirlingas through my son Swamiji.
The avatar has been preparing for this Padayatra since the age of 10, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism led them all from Guriyatam, Tamil Nadu to Tirunelveli, his birthplace, and a huge spiritual pilgrimage site.
And when Supreme Pontiff was around 19 years of age, you can see the Ramakrishna Mutt where he could read.
Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded the international mission, the Nithyananda Sangha, to revive Kailasa internationally on the 31st of December 1929. Vijayatra all over the world to enrich people from all different backgrounds.
Energy.
In 2004, the avatar and his disciples took his disciples on the first Himalayan Yatra, visiting temples, delivering satsangs, and initiating them into the superconscious breakthrough.
So subsequently, the avatar personally
and impacted by Nithyanandeshwara and Nithyanandeshwari, who were traveling from city to city, blessed humanity.
Nandeshwara in Adikailasa Sagarnapita. So the deities were energized as Archavataras to radiate the energy of Paramashiva and Parashakti to create the Adikailasa Sagarnapitam as a ship to save humanity from the upcoming Pralaya.
And here are the different Kailasas
The Vaidya Sarovar, the Ananda Linga. So anyone who bathes in the waters would be actually healed from all kinds of diseases. So we'll now watch the video clip of the Rudrabhishekam performed with the Supreme Court of Hinduism.
नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय च परजाय च नमो मध्यमाय च प्रगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुद्ध्याय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्यामो धृष्णवे च प्रवृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिने च सुधिमते च नमस्तीक्ष्णे च वेजायिधिने च नमस्कायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमस्कृत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय च अरुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च वशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हन्यसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयोभवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च क्षेमाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ट्याय च गृह्
And in 2000,
Sadguru Nitya Sadguru Nitya Sadguru Nityane Ninmugam Ninaiந்து Ingu Nirmalamagave Anade Idaya Chakaram Anagadya Sadguru Nityane எரிந்தவாயிரும் ஏக்கமும் சேர்த்து விசுத்தி அசுத்தியா குரு நித்யனே நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்ய சத்குரு நித்யனே ஆமை பூகும்
of super consciousness have been sown.
So 1,000 and plus ecosystems, the Sarvanyapitas, billion people worldwide were enriched by
Kailasa in Columbus, Ohio.
Kailasa in Los Angeles. So you can see the Kailasa in Charlotte, USA. Kailasa in Washington, DC, Kailasa in Toronto, Canada, which was established by the Supreme Court himself. In Oman, in Dubai, you can see Kailasa in Luxembourg,
Kailasa in Austria.
Kailasa in Germany, in Italy, in France, then Hosur in Tamil Nadu. This is the Pattanam ecosystem, Kailasa in Pattanam. The Kailasa in Varanasi, in Thiruvanmiyur, Chennai, Kailasa in Alangulam, Kailasa in Chennai, Tambaram, you can see Kailasa in Chennai, Avadi. Kailasa in Chennai, Avadi is seen in Melbourne, Australia.
Kailasa Island.
So the Kailasa in Singapore.
Sannyasis with no discrimination against caste, creed, or religion.
So you can see Supreme Pontiff in Hinduism initiating thousands into spiritual healing who have become healers to heal the million. So he reclaims the Hindu-centric freedom. So the thousands of Padayatras were conducted by the Hindu diaspora worldwide, honoring the hard work of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Yes, you can see for every major festival, devotees from various places do the Padayatra out of sincere devotion to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
And here you can see some of the global achievements and services that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been population in 347 cities in 196 countries across 6 continents, and the world's largest Hindu university established in the US, Canada, UK, Slovakia, Switzerland, and France.
And you can see Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and online applications like the Enlighten app, Enlighten Up, SoundCloud, or the Nithyananda Radio.
Live.
Yes, so these are the various global initiatives, the level of Sanatana Hindu Dharma and enriching people and saving and protecting the humanity from the huge cosmic deluge, the pralaya which is going to affect them. But yet he was driven away and chastened out of India.
We can make to Devi Parashakti. Now, many of you know and are a part of this beautiful, but also exclusively for us. And he is our personal guide in every single step of the way. He's our personal guide as we are making the different festivals in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the different Jayantis or the different Brahmotsavams, or our anniversaries, our weddings, or marriage ceremonies, whatever it is in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, as we in this way in our lives today, unfortunately, many of us are finding that the divine is not as present as we used to occasion, and we would have been so happy just to interact with the divine, have the darshan of the deities, and offer a few coins in the hundi, and continue personal darshan and diksha, and also make our offerings as we want to. Now, Kailasa and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is bringing all of these extremely sacred, effective rituals to manifest. Only when the divine accepts what one offers, the offering becomes complete. An offering is not made out of fear nor out of greed. When an avatar lands, the offerings are purely a part of the grand Leela played out for the only purpose of enlightenment.
So we will now invoke Devi Parashakti by chanting the Ngamakutojvala Manonmani Swarupam.
And the English translation. Moon-like face holding the Vedas on hand, fire in eyes.
And the next Jana Sloka is ध्याये देवीं त्रिनेत्रां शशिनिभवदनां वेदहस्तां दधानां सव्ये पद्मं वरदमपरे चाभयं चाक्षमालाम्.
The English translation. I meditate on Devi with 3 eyes glowing like the moon and holding the Vedas, lotus embracing, blessing and gracing hands. She is wearing beautiful ornaments and she is worshipped by Brahma.
हिरण्यम् अग्नेरकं प्रियतमं बभूव सोमस्यैकम् इंसितस्य परापतत अपमेकं वेद संप्रेत अहुस्तत्ते हिरण्यं त्रिविधस्त्वविसे.
The English translation. Triply born by birth, that gold is a divine element. Many of us know and understand its value and its pricelessness and when we're offering gifts. Many of us have given for Mother's Day or marriage anniversaries, even our rings when we are doing weddings or marriages are made of gold, and it's very high value when it's a gold has the power to infuse sattva energy and positive thought currents in anyone who wears and anyone who sees or operates in its vicinity.
Purest metal which purifies our very being. So in Hindu civilization, everything was built in gold, exchanged in gold, and ritual feasts were even offered in golden bricks. So when one was to be saved from life-threatening illnesses, gold was offered as a ritual fee, and it was in abundance, and it was used for weighing equivalent amounts of commodities like cows. And kingdoms were built with huge doors of gold, streets would have huge columns.
In the Atharva Veda. As we were saying, gold is a supreme element for offering gifts to ones you love and revere. And the Vedic rishis actually understood this extremely potent metal that was gold, and they applied this serves the enlightenment energy for thousands of years. It literally lasts forever.
So with that, we'll move on to the offerings to Devi Parashakti. The first offering is the E.
And the English translation, Devi is fond of true devotion and is realized through true devotion. She can be won over through in return. It is stated that Devi likes to be worshipped in autumn. However, here it does not mean the seasonal autumn that we're going through. It is meant the autumn of our lives when we are going through existentially more and more, our thoughts are turning inward.
Yes. So you can offer the Hundi offering at any amount at your own capacity without a deep devotion. And you can also avail the opportunity through the YouTube super chat and super sticker option, which we will be guiding you in the later part of this segment. The next offering,
the universe, and she herself gives birth to this universe. That God is being prayed without any interest in anything, gives the knowledge that leads to salvation, and gives wealth in the materialistic sense. Now, the Devi Mahatmyam, chapter 12, verse 34, here is showing us the compassion of Devi, how we should start the day, and understanding that your consciousness works more powerfully than anything else to have the blessings of the divine and literally radiate their own consciousness in you, manifest their consciousness, the supreme.
It is inscribed with the names of Parashakti. So Lalita Sahasranama, verse 731, it says, Nama Parayana Prita, which means she who likes the repetition of her various names. So this is the offering of 1008 names of Parashakti, and it's a very, very special and unique archana offered to the Mahameru and $251.
The beautiful thing about this Sahasranama Kastu actually is that all of the 1008 names of Devi Parashakti are chanted, and all those are the Ananta Kalyana Gunas, which you will be bestowed with. The sacred thing is the science of manifesting oneness with the divine.
Yes. So the next offering is the Mukta Anguti, the finger. Sarva Bhishta Falapradam Girisutam Vanirama Sevitam Meenakshim Pranatosmi Santatamaham Karunyavaram Nidhim.
The English translation, I bow down to the goddess Meenakshi, whose crown has pearls and face shining like the full moon, who wears anklets that are compassion.
So you can offer the finger ring with the pearl, the Mukta Anguti, to Parashakti. The next offering is the offering of the golden lotus, the Swarna Padma Pushpam. The Kamikagama it describes Ashtavidyeshwaropeta Kumbhavarana Samyutam Sarve.
All the kalashas should be wound around with suitable thread and covered with new cloth. They should be adorned with the lotus flower made of gold. Actually, in the sacred Hindu scripture, the Padma is the lotus. And in some way, it is always implemented into the worship of Paramashiva and the worship of the ultimate. And it always involves the lotus flower, the lotus leaf, lotus pericarp, and lotus petals. And that's why lotus is considered as a divine flower. And in fact, Shakti of Paramashiva is also called a lotus. It's on the lotus. Now, the significance of lotus, as is told in the Hindu tradition, is how everywhere, in any pond, in any muddy waters, the lotus can bloom, and it can literally be the most graceful, most elegant flower in that whole pond. Just in that same way, if we're offering to Devi at all times, just as the power of the lotus flower.
And the next offering to Parashakti is the Swarnametti, the golden touring.
Destroys the darkness of ignorance from the minds of your devotees who prostrate at your feet. You whose brightness from your 2 feet overpowers that of the lotus flower. Her feet always with the sacred toe ring. And it is not simply like any married woman in the Hindu tradition does wear the toe ring, but this has significance. As we saw in the pre-liberators, is the most sacred offering that we can give to Devi Parashakti.
Chakra, the Sahasrara Chakra, which is completely and fully opened.
And for those of you who don't know, the Sahasrara Chakra is the 1,000-petaled lotus, which is fully open and literally oozing the nectar out. That nectar is represented by the Mangtika. And this is also another tradition to Devi and receive the blessings of achieving the blissful state of overflowing gratitude and the space of complete completion.
Offering is the beautiful, very special offering, Pratyakshapada Puja. So we'll be chanting the Shastra Pramana from the Sloka 83 of Saundarya Lahari. Nakadhiditi sanchanna namajjana tamo guna padadvaya prabhajala parakruta saroruha.
The illumining splendor of Devi's tone states that the nails that have been sharpened by constantly being touched by the crowns of celestial beings who always prostrate before Devi. And Tamoguna is considered as darkness. And by constantly prostrating before Devi, the ignorance is removed and they attain knowledge. You can offer during the Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam and for the Guru Purnima festival upcoming. This Guru Purnima festival is such a beautiful festival, a most auspicious time to surrender all the karmas that you have, everything that you have, and responsibility for the whole universe as Guru. And you can ensure that you are blessed with. The next offering is the Vastra Seva. This is the offering of the sacred adornment or the sacred cloth in order to adorn the deity and the body itself. E-hundi offering, which again you can make as a general donation and you can make for any amount. The Sankalpa chanting, the Devi Sahasranama Kasu, the Mukta Anguti, the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the Swarna Metti, and the Swarna Mang offerings. Now, you might be in 2 categories as we are concluding this segment, and you just heard all of the different offerings. On one side, I'm sure many of you are, if that is your case, you can fill out the intention form for making these offerings. You can go to tiny.cc/bhavasamadhi and fill out the intention form. This intention form will help you in manifesting, and that link will lead you to this very page as you are seeing. So as you can see, the Parashakti Bhavasamadhi Darshan donations are here listed out. And you can just select from the drop-down menu any, and then you will be filling out your billing details and all of your details as well, your payment details. Make sure that you submit this form. Then after members, are chanted during the puja. And this is the way that we ensure that all the pujacharyas, the shivacharyas from the Nithyananda Paramashiva Devalaya are chanting and making sure that your name is chanted during the puja through there. You have to first join the Kailasas Nithyananda YouTube channel as a member. And you can, right next to the channel name underneath this video, you'll see the join button. One credit card or debit card or PayPal, and you can make any kind of donation. This is what you can offer as the e-hundi amount. And you can also choose a super sticker option where, well, so these are all the different options and the beautiful ways that you can literally manifest the oneness experience. Immediate and instant result is just through these offerings. You will be able to see in so many different ways how you are manifesting and literally you're living the reality that you wanted to live. From the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And after so many decades of persecution, we have seen how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has not given up once for ensuring that the voice of Holocaust and the ongoing genocide against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to the whole world and making it an execution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Today, as we are going on into the next segments, we'll be understanding the details and seeing how the United Nations has recognized the persecution and seeing more into what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is finally bringing to. He is bringing an end to that Holocaust which is going on. In the next segments, we will be seeing the details of all of what has happened. And in this next segment also, we will be almost astounding contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as he has literally built a ship called the Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapitam through so many different spiritual alchemy processes, through literally his divine presence, will now be joined in just a few minutes by Ma Nithyananda Swami and Ma Nithya Pranapriyananda to explain to us in detail about the Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapitam.
What I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem. Kailasa coming to you is e-Kailasa. Not by any revolution, but by evolution. Community. Kailasas, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanyapitas all over the world. Abilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exquisite thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet. We all have to coexist together.
Nithyanandam, and welcome to today's segment of the Adi Kailasa ship. Today, there a very momentous happening for Kailasa. Once again, the United Nations has recognized the persecution of the Paramashiva. As one can see, the United Nations had called for had done an entire study on femicide. Femicide specifically means the killing of women, specifically related to their gender, meaning just because, and the inputs and the study, and what is the state of affairs of women, women rights, and specifically the extreme inhuman crime of femicide, which is the killing of women, is giving a glimpse of the whole persecution that the women community of Kailasa has gone through. We wanted to share this with you at the outset of this segment, and we'll be going into the details of this in the, or even the 2 billion Hindus at large today. It is actually a victory, a resounding victory, and an awareness that has been brought to the Hinduism from the face of this planet. On the one hand, we have peace enable a massively powerful way of living our super consciousness, our real existence, and how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has enabled to live one's true conscious sovereignty. So let us take a look at what Hinduism had to offer, a brief look at the Hindu, and with the same intensity, probably more, in the interest of making each and every being realize that each of us is really Paramashiva. So let's take a jump into the next segment to revival today, the Hindu persecution today, in the few words called the freedom struggle of Kailasa, the story of the world's only Hindu nation. Let us take a look at the big picture first. 2 billion Hindus. We have all the details in https://kailasa.org. The 2 billion Hindus and the whole of humanity. Kailasa is the only macrocosmic, ancient, Hindu enlightened civilizational nation to serve the religious and spiritual needs of 2 billion Hindus and the whole of humanity. Kailasa creates a safe haven to live par with Israel for Jews, Vatican for Catholics, and Tibet for Buddhists. Kailasa was created with the determination to not just preserve and protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma and share it with the mission of Kailasa. Kailasa is a nation created by dispossessed Hindus from around the world who lost the right to practice Hinduism authentically in their own countries. Though the Kailasa movement is founded in the United States and spearheaded by members of the Hindu Adi Shaivite minority community, it is created for and offers a safe haven to is enlightened living for all of humanity, which is rooted in the fundamental principle of Advaita or oneness, or race. And now a glimpse about what really is Hinduism. Hinduism represents the world's most ancient yet progressive indigenous spiritual tradition. Hinduism comprises many indigenous spiritual traditions coexisting peacefully for millennia. The Hindu Holocaust on the and genocide denial over the last 5,000 years on the most ancient living civilization on the planet. Denied by the historians, untold by its victimized survivors, the Hindu Holocaust is one of the biggest incitement to hate, imprisonment, torture, murder, destruction of universities and schools, and crimes against women and children. The systematic elimination of Hindus and 10,000 sampradayas or traditions. Over several centuries, the combined forces of foreign invasion, political upheaval, colonialism, and religious persecution consist of the double killing of Holocaust and the denial of Holocaust. Denying the largest Holocaust, which has been shockingly act of crime in the Holocaust, and the heralding of the next crime. The strategy is to first obfuscate and obliterate, even speaks of the unbroken continuum of annihilation of the Hindus. 100 million killed, over 1 billion ideologically enslaved, be it by forced indoctrination, artificial famines, child abuse, identity distortion, resulting in a systematic physical elimination of over 100 million Hindus and much more.
What I mean by the word e-Kailasa, listen intensely, come to you. Kailasa coming to you. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not and setting model community. All powerful Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually.
Yes. So next we're going to see how this glorious Hindu civilization went through unprecedented persecution over millennia. Islamic invaders starting from 800 to 1700 AD, where the physical destruction of Hindu civilization happened. Will Durant, from his book, The Story of Civilization, he says that the Mohammedan conquest of India is probably temples carried out by the warriors. And all of this happened between 880 to 1700 AD, when the millions of Hindus were converted to Islam by 1 million deities and sculptures were destroyed. The conquering armies burnt villages, devastated the land, plundered people's wealth, took Brahmins and children and women of all classes captive, flogged with thongs of rawhide, carried aside endorsed by the Islamic law. Al-Hidayah, one of the most influential works of second Sunni jurisprudence, still in use today as a legal manual, it very clearly says that if the infidels, which means the non-believers of Islam, upon his enemies and infidels, and it is necessary to implore his aid upon every occasion. The Prophet moreover commands us to do so. Being converted, then you have every right to destroy the infidels, as per the legal manual of the Islamic law. Having done so, Muslims must then be broken. These means are therefore all sanctified by the law. So the law itself sanctifies all the horrendous acts of disarming a person for Hindus as converted to Alauddin Khilji by his qazi or legal advisor, who says that Hindus are like mud. If silver is demanded from them, they must agree with great humility to offer gold. If a Mohammedan decides to spit into a Hindu's mouth, the Hindu should wide open and confiscate it. To keep the Hindus in abasement is especially a religious duty, because they are the most inveterate enemies of the Prophet. So to physically destroy the backbone of this Sanatana Hindu Dharma. The rape of a continent. Mohammedan on this occasion broke the idols of Nagarkota and mixing the fragments with pieces of cow's flesh, filled bags with them and caused them. The Hindu prisoners were divided into 4 sections and taken to each of the 4 gates of the great Katkar. There, on the stakes, they had carried the economic and the psychological destruction of Hindu civilization between the 17th and 20th century by the British occupation as their beneficiary claims to be overpopulation and superstition, but to the most sordid and criminal exploitation of one nation by another in all recorded history. You can see the pictures of people during the British occupation. $45 trillion were looted from India over 200 years. 45 million Hindus were dead due to famines and poverty. The British came to one of the richest countries of the world. Over 200 years of exploitation, looting, and destruction reduced it to a poster child of a third world poverty. And oppression of dark-skinned people as humanitarian civilizing mission, even though it was a mere cover for Charles Kingsley, celebrated professor, historian, friend of Charles Darwin, and priest in the Church of England. Colonial subjugation, 200 years of basis of men. As for religion, no people have ever drawn a more gross and disgusting picture of the universe than what is being presented in the writings of the Hindus. Very few words are required, especially regarding Islam. Colonial subjugation, the Catholic Church performs 250 years of ethnic cleansing in Goa. The fathers of the church forbade the Hindus under terrible penalties the use of their own sacred deed and were liable to imprisonment, torture, and death if they worshipped after their own fashion the gods of their fathers. Each other's command against the foreign oppressor. They vowed this would not happen again. Divide and rule was an old Roman maxim, and it shall be. The British Empire used all possible means to destroy the Hindu civil and cultural institutions in order to delegitimize and demoralize the indigenous people of India, so they would become slaves in their own homelands. The discriminatory laws to instill feelings of racial inferiority, importation of British goods, banned Indians from owning or producing the firearms. Now let us look into how did harsh British tax and export policies and poor infrastructure management caused multiple famines in India, claiming tens of millions of lives. Most recently in Bengal, 1943. Indians were forced to eat leaves, grass, and even human flesh for that matter, tried the local industry to ensure dependence and poverty. Prior to colonial rule, India was the world's leading textile manufacturer and produced the finest fabrics. The British engaged in a systematic. The Hindu weavers were turned into beggars, and their indigenous skills were lost forever. Proficient at maintaining the locomotive strings that they started designing and building their own models at a fraction of the cost of the imported British trains. The British Parliament responded by passing an act in invasion and the ruin of Hindu temples. It was strange but determined piece of policy when throughout the country the pagoda lands were resumed by the East India Company and the allowances were granted the lapse of years and natural death. Some of the most celebrated temples in the country are worse off, but there are still, alas, many more strongholds of the devil. False anti-Hindu narratives. British rulers 4% of the students. In contrast, a century of direct British misrule of India left the population with blood and color, but English in taste and opinion, in moral and in intellect. To that class, we may leave it to refine the vernacular dialects of the country, to enrich those dialects with terms of science borrowed from Western and mannerisms. The anglicized brown British native clerks of India were often viewed with contempt and ridiculed as Bengali babus by their white masters for their ornate speech, self-importance, and founding. Concerned at the raising awareness of the nationalism. Sorry for the technical glitch. The colonial subjugation, converting the native political and psychological management of India and Indians. Thus, they began to focus on the education of native princes and the pursuit of the objective in Macaulay's Minute on Education of 1837 to create akin to the Criminal Tribes Act of 1871. The British government passed the Criminal Tribes Act, where various ethnic communities were deemed subversive to colonial authorities simply because they did not conform to the idea of civilized living. Their idea of civilized living, it is not even the idea of civilized living. They targeted populations such as sadhus, sannyasis, tribals, nomads, gypsies, and Sudras, and given tattoos to stigmatize them and make them easier to track. Criminalizing the indigenous communities, which is Thuggees and Dacoity Suppression Acts, in an effort to demonize the Hindus and feed the stereotype of savage Orient. In addition to denigrating the Hindu culture, the narrative of the Thuggee menace was also used to justify the colonial rule, suspend the civil liberties, and target subversive elements that challenged of all the major Hindu temples despite claiming to be the secular state. Their governance of Hindu temples had been fraught with mismanagement, neglect, corruption, theft of jewels and deities, and alienation of temple land. Dedicated to Lord Ayyappa in Kerala, where the South India represents one of the Hinduism's unique spiritual ecosystems. The form of Ayyappa are equally allowed access, while the Sabarimala is a single exception. Ayyappa devotees undergo 41 period of celibacy, fasting, and other penances prior to making the pilgrimage to prepare their bodies and super consciousness for spiritual ecosystem present in Sabarimala temple. Scriptures and oral tradition explain that the celibate male energy present in Sabarimala is given its prominence. The Sabarimala temple has been targeted by the anti-Hindu social activists for years as part of their broader campaign to delegitimize Hindus as sexiest and patriarchal. The constitution is being destroyed. So you can see openly it is a statement made by somebody in the government that is so anti-Hindu, like so much of religious intolerance is inculcated to Hindus in the recent times. Since 1991, a group of activist lawyers have sought to force the Sabarimala to accept economical or the political measures may as be required. Such propaganda is generally intended to demoralize the enemy, to break his will to fight or resist, and sometimes to render him favorably. The media narratives used to stereotype and demoralize the Hindus. Bollywood and many other mainstream media outlets consistently portray Hindu gods and gurus as cartoonish, dishonest, corrupt sex freaks in a manner stereotypes perpetuated in modern India. The relentless campaign of psychological warfare waged on Hindu minds by the British and their brown successors spend billions of money annually on fairness cream to lighten their skin to be more like their former British masters. A 2014 marketing study found that about 90% of Indian girls cite their skin lightening as a highest need. And the double genocide imposed by the British invaders, then the third phase in which in the secular India, where the new Hindutva groups and the anti-Hindu forces in the Paramashivoham revived the ancient sciences of Hinduism as per its original authenticity. In reviving the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, he is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and his community went through unprecedented persecution for more than a decade. The best part is the United Nations and how he has opened his homes of Kailasa, despite he being persecuted more than a decade in his homeland, how he has compassionately opened the
mean by the word e-Kailasa? Listen intensely. enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment, coming to you is E-Kailasa.
And setting model community.
All powerful cognition.
Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. All of us are ecosystem.
Dharma protect you.
We will make the whole planet a
Welcome back. And now, as we shared at the start of this segment, we will go over the recognition that Hindu persecution of femicide has been published on the website. What does this report detail about? Let us take a look. Crimes against women and children, such as rape, sexual violence, gender-based harassment, female infanticide, happen unabated in India. As Bhagwan said, the erosion of the true Hindu values has resulted in the destruction of the 2018 survey. That's a very concerning statistic for a nation which is, for Bharat, which is known to be proud for the position that it has always given women. According to the national crimes records, a number of years now have been weaponized against minority women and children, especially by extremist militant elements at the highest levels of governance. This weaponization of sexual violence targeting women and children is part of a more pervasive existed in India for millennia. One such indigenous spiritual tradition currently targeted for extermination by the Neo-Hindutva extremist militants is the Neo-Hindutva extremist militant forces. The ASMT explicitly rejects extremism of all types. The extremist militant elements are opposed to ASMT's stance when it comes to the rights of women, including otherwise marginalized self. As we all know, Bhagwan has declared himself to be transcendental gender and possessing multiple gender components. The Neo-Hindutva extremists see LGBTQ+ rights as immoral. The ASMT freely ordains women into sannyas, recognizes extremists.
In the last decade, especially in India, there has been an alarming trend in the mainstream media and the social media of sensational screening and manufacture of misinformation on TV and various media channels to defame her character and to delegitimize her guru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. The media targeted the ASMT minor girls by publishing their pictures in the national newspapers with vulgar captions. The media published fake interviews of the ASMT actress Ranjita for defaming her. Nakir and Gopal and other media heads pressurized Ranjita to commit suicide. ASMT female monks, but the most vulnerable target of this persecution are the ASMT girls and the female children, especially those minor girls who pursue religious studies to become, filed several vexatious litigations in India and US. In US, these false allegations by the child rapist, such as ran 14,000 hours of hateful programs marginalizing the ASMT child rape victim, ASMT actress Ranjita, ASMT nuns, ASMT women and girls. continue to publish such defamatory articles, causing marginalization of the ASNT community, especially women and the girls, dangerously inciting mob violence and rape against them. Influencers exercise a massive influence on the masses and even the court judges. The media is easily able to sway public opinion and even sway the opinion of the judges. Mainstream Indian media and the social media influencers exercise a massive influence on the masses and even the court judges. The media is easily able to sway the public opinion and even sway the opinion of the judges. In a court proceedings, honors the court orders without any consequence. Therefore, there is no legal recourse that is available for India. Restraining the misinformation and telecast of the fabricated deepfake videos, the neo-Hindutva media kept pushing. None of the media houses complied with the order, and kept re-uploading, re-telecasting the same abusive footage and continued the misinformation propaganda to date. Any complaint on the media in the High Court is redirected to NBSA, BCCC. The NBSA, which is a self-regulatory body, is a toothless and is known to disregard its own guidelines and orders, even when the member channels ridicule and of Hinduism, Jagatguru Mahasanidana, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, of raping his own biological mother, a Hindu nun, on the occasion of his father's sad demise. The channel went on to justify its sad. The Indian media kept marginalizing the ASNT nuns and girls with the defamatory, sexualized allegations. In 2017, a court penalized a neo-Hindutva media to the tune list, continued the smear campaign. On 2nd of March 2010, the sensational and the repeated screening of the fabricated deepfake video purporting to show the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with Bengaluru, neo-Hindutva militants attacked on the ASNT monastery. Several ASNT nuns were raped. The Chief Minister of Karnataka was in Delhi, cruelly and illegally interrogated children in the ASNT school, which is Gurukul. The interrogation was done without the consent of the parents, with no video recording of the examiners, late night beyond the time permissible by law. The state community. The lawyer of the school was sued by the state for intervening in the violations of the rights of the children and the parents. Such raids were conducted by the state and many were militant. On 18th of January 2018, the young female nun, Nithyananda, received death threats over phone for voicing out against defamatory sexualization of Hindu females. In November 2019, the Gujarat State Government CWC Child Welfare Commission officials raided the female monastery and molested the children studying there. The CWC officials were kept under the custody for almost 3 months. The only women monastery and the Hindu university was destroyed. The false case is still not closed. Such targeted persecution of Hindu nuns and female religious leaders is not limited to booking in under anti-superstitious law. Contributions from the Sanatana Hindu Dharma to the entire humanity and the deadly Hindu Holocaust that happened in 3 different phases, and several contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and his ASNT community, which published and acknowledged by the United Nations, and the voice of the Hindus is being heard. For this Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya from Bidadi, Bangalore. So stay tuned to join us for the celebrations of Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam, and we'll be right back.
Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are.
Who is participating in this puja to come and settle down.